All right, hey everybody, welcome to Live with YouTube Gaming, YouTube's first ever live series. We have a great show for you tonight. I've got an exclusive interview with Ueda-san where we're going to discuss The Last Guardian, the long-awaited Last Guardian. We've also got a special tease from Rogue One, a Star Wars story. We're going to talk about Mass Effect. You probably saw the new trailer that came out on N7 Day. We'll break that down for you. We've also got some live gameplay of Sonic in LEGO Dimensions. That's right, Sonic in LEGO Dimensions. You'll see that. And of course, you'll get another edition of Dear Bossman, and we're going to talk about your favorite FPS games, and we're going to rank them. Also, Greg Miller from Kind of Funny will be joining me to chat about the PS4 Pro, and I'm going to share my thoughts on what a crazy week it's been. All right, you're in control of the show. Go to primetimevoting.com right now. Leave the tab open. We'll have live voting there throughout the night. Live with YouTube Gaming starts right now. All right, let's do this live with YouTube Gaming, and we are here to talk about all things in the video game news world, as always. And joining me to kick off the show, we got my old buddy from GT, Brandon Jones from Easy Allies.
What's
Brandon,
up, buddy?
It's great to have you back.
It's great to be here.
And congrats, an awesome year for Easy Allies.
Congrats on this
lots
awesome
of
show.
Patreon.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you. We got lots of good stuff. Now we'll get to the news. All right, we've also got Emily Kelly joining us from Wrong Button Media. Emily, great to have you with us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us live on the show. And returning again, we just can't get enough of them. Maddox is here from the best page in the universe.
Yes, sir. Very addictive.
Pat introduced us, and now you're part of the family.
Great dude. Thanks for having me.
All right, well, it has been a busy week in the world, of course, and also in the world of video game news headlines. So let's get to our first topic. Monday was November 7th, a.k.a. N7 Day for Mass Effect fans. And to help celebrate the occasion, BioWare gave us a brand new cinematic trailer for Mass Effect Andromeda, which is coming out next spring. People saw this online. They were expecting a lot at N7 Day. We also announced that the first gameplay from Mass Effect will be at the Game Awards, live right here on YouTube on December 1st, and I can tell you guys that it's going to be a very lengthy sequence that you'll see, 5+ minutes of stuff from Mass Effect. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening this year at the show. But let's talk about Mass Effect in the trailer. This is a game that, I think a lot of fans have been wondering about for a while. Jones, we saw a trailer at E3, but coming off, Mass Effect 3, this is sort of not a Commander Shepard game. It's a whole new experience. What's your take on what they showed on Monday? Were you blown away? Were you skeptical?
I wasn't. It's tough because it's tough when you take a trailer just by itself.
Yeah.
And a trailer can be one thing. If you look back at a campaign 10 years later for a game that you loved, it's hard to pick out when that trailer came out and what people were looking forward to. And I think that one of the big things for me is I need character. I need to know who these faces are. And I think we've seen some kind of flashes at characters we're going to get to know, but we don't get any names in this. We don't get any kind of clue into what type of person we're going to be filling. And so, I think it was exciting, but just kind of bland for me.
It's not the Commander Shepard trilogy. We know about Ryder and this new character. Emily, are you a Mass Effect fan?
Full disclosure, I'm full-on BioWare trash.
Okay.
I love BioWare, everything to do with BioWare.
Yeah.
So Mass Effect, changed my life.
Okay.
As a gamer.
All right.
So I am excited to see where they're going to take the series next, but I'm with Brandon. I mean, it's just kind of hard to judge
Right.
I'll miss everyone, I'll miss my space boyfriend Garrus.
Yes.
So.
I know, right? All the cast characters, not, Casey Hudson not at the helm. It's a new team in Montreal. Mac Walters is involved, who wrote the last game, or the last, trilogy. But you're right. I think this is a game, on a new engine, so it looks,
It looks fantastic.
Awesome, right? So it's on Frostbite now.
Is fantastic.
Exactly. So that looks good. But yeah, I'm really curious about how it's going to play. And N7 Day is a big day for the Mass Effect community. I felt like people were a little disappointed they wanted more on N7 Day.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I think they're being optimistic because the game was supposed to come out for the holiday season this year, and they've pushed it back to spring. And I think they're kind of trying to spatter it a little bit to build the hype. It's kind of hard to have hype with games these days.
I know.
So
that's right. No, and you're right. Even though it's coming in spring, I see a lot in my feed of people saying, "Is it really coming in the spring?" They haven't shown a lot, and they had that little tech demo they did at the PS4 Pro launch, where that wasn't even really gameplay. There was no combat, no nothing. It was just sort of showing off the engine a little bit. So we'll see. Maddox, How is Mass Effect going to rate in the universe for you? Or is this convince you that you want it more or less?
Okay, so as not a fan of the Mass Effect series,
Yes.
I watched this trailer and I thought it looked super cool.
Yeah, okay.
And I was going to play the Mass Effect series, true story. I went to Amazon and I was looking at the reviews, and I started with Mass Effect 3 for some reason,
Yeah.
and everyone was complaining about the ending. I
Yes.
was like, well, I got to read this. Spoiled it. And then I read that it like kind of spoils the others in the series, so I never played it. So
Okay.
I think this might be a good introduction.
Fresh start.
Fresh start, yeah. And I'm looking forward to the monsters look really cool, the big ones.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of big monsters, full
Okay.
disclosure. Pacific Rim, Godzilla, King Kong, I love them all. So
No, it looks absolutely beautiful, and I think the big question a lot of folks have is, how much RPG and action will it be? There's going to be vehicles, and what's going to happen with multiplayer? There's so many elements to this. And you're right, Emily, with a game that's supposedly coming in the spring, no one's ever really seen it, right? It's been pretty protected.
Yeah.
Even last year at E3, there was kind of a teaser video. This year at E3, there was another video, and 7 days. You're right. I think the fans have been hyped up. Now they just want to see the game.
I think those videos get them in trouble a little bit. EA's kind of been doing. They did the same with Battlefront, where it's like, here's kind of a trailer. Here's people at their desks, maybe working, we don't know. And so by the time you finally get to that trailer, even if it's just a normal trailer that's kind of reaffirming some of the things you believe, showing you some fun new monsters, it's not enough because we've already seen 3 advertisements for this game. So we're expecting this to be a little bit bigger because you've had this time, where it's just kind of your generic. Here's an introduction to this world. We'll explain more later. And I think we need a little bit more.
All right, well, we will see what they have for us. We asked everyone online what was their excitement level after the latest trailer. We got a response right there of what people have been saying. So it's amazing to see that fans are kind of, looking at it from both perspectives, wondering what's going on. So, all right, well, we got much more coming up about Mass Effect. As I mentioned, at the Game Awards on December 1st, we will have the first gameplay of Mass Effect. You don't want to miss it. And you, of course, can watch that live on YouTube starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific with a pre-show. All right, moving on to our next news topic, franchise fatigue. There have been some AAA games released so far this year that aren't exactly flying off store shelves as in previous years. Titanfall 2, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, they're both not meeting sales expectations. In the UK, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare sales are down 50% compared to last year's Black Ops 3, and that was even down significantly from the previous year. Titanfall 2, which I think is a phenomenal game and has an awesome campaign to it, it's undersold the original, even though the sequel is also available on the PlayStation 4. Let me start with you, Emily, on this. Why do you think there's this drought of sort of game sales? I mean, even November, it's like there's Dishonored coming out today, tomorrow. Then you got Watch Dogs next week, and then the rest of this November, there's really not that much. I mean, there's Final Fantasy at the end of the month. But why do you think there's this? Is there a fatigue? Like, are people done playing these shooters, or what do you think's happening?
I mean, it's hard for me because I am not a first-person shooter gamer typically. I mean, I played Halo back in the day and a few of the Call of Duties. So, I mean, if you like those games, you might not be as fatigued as other people. But at least for me, like, I'm like another one, like again. Like, Battlefield at least is interesting. I mean, we've never really seen this kind of setting before.
Right.
World War I is one of the bloodiest, just like inhumane wars we've ever fought. Mustard gas and cavalry and bayonets and stuff. So I guess that's a little, it's on the more interesting side.
Right.
It's, Call of Duty, it's like, how many times are you going to kill Nazis or like guys in a city or take over an airport?
Yeah, no, you're right, and that's like, certainly the Call of Duty franchise. It's more the same. I haven't played the Infinite Warfare campaign yet. I don't know if you have. You?
I haven't finished it yet.
Okay. How is it? Is it more the same,
it's good. No, it's definitely different from Call of Duty, but I think Titanfall makes a ton of sense for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's wedged in between these two games that I think any shooter fan would have argued would have performed better than Titanfall.
There's so much, right? I mean, shooters this year. There's a lot. I mean, even with Doom, you could argue Overwatch. I mean, there's just so many different games.
This is a fantastic year for shooters. You like, now that we're getting into November, December, like it's always the time to look back and look at the genres, and like this was the year for quality shooters.
I agree.
And I think that's partly the issue is that probably a lot of people are really surprised at Overwatch and are fine with that right now. Like they're still playing that, they're still enjoying it.
I agree.
So I'm not surprised. But specifically, I don't know if theme really plays too much into why Call of Duty's not performing, because the Battlefield really brought the very interesting thing this year.
Yeah, it's just interesting that like you just hear these, gamers maybe they're still playing Overwatch and they're like, fewer games. They don't need to buy a new game. But I do think there's not a lot of brand new like intellectual properties and like even all the shooters. Overwatch was fresh, right? All these other ones, same games again. And Titanfall 2, maybe there's a bit of that. Maddox, I mean, do you find yourself drawn to like oh, this is just Call of Duty, I got to play it, or is there fatigue?
No, there's absolutely fatigue. I don't feel like there's enough innovation in first-person shooters, especially when it comes to weapons. Any kind of realistic weapons ultimately comes down to a bullet that I can't see that I'm shooting. I like to play with physics, like the orb weapon in Half-Life 2, where you bounce it around the walls. And we were just playing the screen cheat. The orb weapons are super fascinating. It opens up all sorts of interesting gameplay. Now, that's what I want to see. Everything feels kind of samey. I want to see a little bit more innovation in first-person shooters.
All right, well, we'll have to see, I guess, what happens with all shooters moving forward. But but even just game sales in general, right? It'd be interesting because this fall, like normally in November, we're getting ready for Game Awards, and there are all these massive games coming out in November. Next couple weeks, kind of quiet.
Yeah, January and February are huge.
Yeah,
it's weird to see the beginning start off with such a bang in
all
so
right.
many different genres.
Well, let's talk about another big thing that happened in November, and that is BlizzCon, which happened last weekend. And there wasn't really any big shocking news. Hearthstone will have a new expansion, The Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. Overwatch announced Sombra, what was officially unveiled after a lot of leaks. But beyond that, no, massive announcements of, Warcraft 4 or, StarCraft 3 or who knows. Blizzard consistently cranks out amazing games that are getting better and better. And that may be enough for some fans. You can't expect this massive scale announcement every year at BlizzCon. But Maddox, when they throw a big event like this, fans get really hyped. There was, I think, a little bit of backlash that they just didn't have the news. And having done a lot of BlizzCons over the years, until I split with them, it was sort of a situation that it seemed like, there were years where they didn't always have breaking news. Same caliber like an Overwatch reveal. What's your take on Blizzard? Are you worried about Blizzard?
Oh boy, man, that's a huge missed opportunity. Yeah. Anytime they have this huge BlizzCons or any kind of conventions like that, I mean, it's kind of like the approach that Apple took. Apple used to be part of all the tech consumers, and they would, the tech companies, and they would have their press releases all at the same time. They did something very smart, and they branched off, and they had the Apple, the Apple franchise.
They set their
specific.
timetable.
Yeah, exactly. And now BlizzCon has that exact same thing. It's a huge missed opportunity every time if they're not releasing something super big and exciting. Although Sombra was pretty cool, but again, like I guess the Russian hackers got a hold of the screenshots.
It's hard to keep secrets. Emily, for you, Blizzard, BlizzCon, were you disappointed when you went and saw the headlines?
I mean, a little bit. Again, it's just hard. I mean, great games take a lot of time to make. You can't expect someone like Blizzard to have a game out every year or 2 years. For me, the most exciting thing that came out of BlizzCon, besides all the cosplay, I'm a cosplayer, so I love all of the
What's your Blizzard cosplay?
I don't do any. Well, okay, so I did Retro Diva for Comic-Con, but that's my only Blizzard one. I didn't go this year, but it was really great to see all of the amazing armor builds and stuff. But for me, the most exciting thing that came out of it was the Overwatch League. I think esports are the future, and I love the way that they're trying to make it more like traditional sports. Of you play for a city, not just some 20-something former players team that
and you get a salary.
You get a salary. You're an employee of Blizzard, and they're really trying to make this. They're trying to do it right, and that's really exciting for me. I love esports.
Absolutely, Jones, BlizzCon.
Got to bring it. If you're gonna have your own event, it kind of reminds me of Bethesda this year at E3. Like it was exciting. They had great announcements. They definitely brought new stuff that we were not expecting. It just wasn't as good as the year before that. And the first thing I thought when oh no, Bethesda's coming back. We're gonna have another press conference at E3. I was like, oh well, they must. They wouldn't be doing it unless they were going to top what they did last year. And so I think it's tough because it's impossible not to have those expectations. It's like we're going back to BlizzCon. Oh my God, they announced these new franchises. Who knows what's going to happen? And I don't know what you do as a member of BlizzCon to kind of come out and be like, it's not going to be as cool. That sounds like suicide,
well,
but like you kind of have to set expectations that way if you don't care. Like if Blizzard is reading all this news and they don't care, then we're fine.
No, look, I think part of it is, and I go through that with the Game Awards, where it's like every year it's like, how are you going to top yourself?
Got to bring it every
but it's
year.
like I don't make the game, so it's sort of like you hope the
you
developers are going to show up.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it's one of those things that it's a little challenging because Blizzard I think they probably sit there in the weekly and it's like, we don't really have everything, but like they set this event, 6 or 8 months in advance, or who knows, maybe there was something they were about to announce, but then like 3 weeks out, they're like, it's not ready. And that's always the heartbreaking thing. It's like you're doing this event, and the community is there. It's still a great chance to get all the fans
that's the best
together.
thing about it, I think. And so if you're still using it as a community thing, that's okay if you're going to be a little light on the announcements. But if you don't say anything and you're like, we'll see what we do tomorrow, then we're always going to expect something huge because you're being coy about it.
I know. So did you go, Maddox?
No, I didn't. But it's like you have your own birthday party. Bring your cake. Have a cake there. What are people showing up for?
I know. Yeah, it's one of those ones that is. Well, we'll see. And the thing is, they'll probably be doing a BlizzCon again next year. Maybe next year there'll be even more and bigger announcements. And it feels like a lot of the teams now are working on new projects at Blizzard. And I think Overwatch was the type of game that really invigorated that company because of the excitement around it, new IP, something new, and it had been, I think it was like 17 years since their last kind of brand new IP. So it'll be interesting to see like what they do with that moving forward, or maybe there'll be a brand new game, and also on console in a big way. First time a lot of console fans probably went to BlizzCon because Overwatch is out for that. So we will see. All right, well, let's move on now, and we like to highlight up-and-coming YouTube creators doing awesome new things in and around the gaming universe. And right now we're going to meet Geoff. Now, Geoff creates really amazing DIY projects based off weapons and items found in video games and comic book movies. He uses his knowledge of rocket science, that's right, rocket science, to create real-life, full-functioning weapons. This is insane stuff. He's created a working super sledgehammer and power fist inspired by by Fallout 4. We're off Blizzard on the Bethesda Fallout 4. He also made an incredible working replica rocket launcher found in Doom. This stuff is incredible. It reminds me of the old FPS Russia videos, but with a little more diversity in the types of items he creates. And of course, if you do check out his page and want to create some DIY weapons of your own, this is our legal warning. Don't. Just enjoy his work via YouTube and leave the danger to Geoff. This is insane. We guys got to go check out his channel. But certainly has a lot of fun. A little too high risk for me on live with YouTube gaming, but it's all there on YouTube. All right, well, thanks so much, guys, for popping by. Fun to see you guys playing in the pre-show, and we'll be seeing more of you, I know, throughout the show. And stay put, because coming up, Doug Heater is here to show us Sonic in LEGO Dimensions. That's right, all those crazy IPs in LEGO Dimensions. They've had Ghostbusters and Scooby-Doo and tons of other things. Well, now Sonic is coming to LEGO Dimensions, and we're going to give you a first look. A little later, we've got my one-on-one interview about The Last Guardian with the legendary Ueda-san. He is very camera shy, rarely seen on camera, but I had an amazing chat with him, and I can't wait to show that to you. We also have an unbox therapy session with my fellow Canadian Lou. The People's Choice, Kyle Bossman, returns with another edition of Dear Bossman. I know you guys are waiting for that in chat. And I'll also check in with Greg Miller from Kinda Funny. We're going to discuss the PS4 Pro. Now remember to open up a tab and go to primetimevoting.com. We've got votes and updates going there all night tonight, primetimevoting.com. Now, as gamers, we take on special missions all the time, but now imagine if you were given the ultimate mission to steal the plans for the next Death Star. Next week, we've got an extended special look at the highly anticipated Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And just in case you can't wait that long, right now, we're going to show you a special tease.
The Empire's building a terrible weapon. I need your help. We can stop them. This is your chance to make a real difference. We have hope. Rebellions are built on hope. Are you with me?
All the way.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story, comes to theaters in 3D and IMAX 3D December 16th. And don't forget to tune in next week because we will have an extended special look that you guys will not want to miss. The movie looks absolutely incredible. All right, well, joining me now here is Doug Heater, a producer at WB Interactive who's worked on small little games like Batman Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight. He's currently focused on the massively popular LEGO Dimensions franchise. Doug, great to have you with us.
Thanks, Geoff.
And it's always fun when people come by with LEGO because we get lots of fun LEGO toys here.
Yeah.
That we get to, or figures, we should say, as people get to play with them. So today we're going to talk a lot about what is, I guess, year 2 of LEGO Dimensions.
Yeah.
Tons of great content coming out, and front and center there you've got Sonic the Hedgehog, and I know there's fantastic beasts. I mean, there's so many fun properties that you guys get to play with.
I'm excited. This is our Wave 7 officially.
Wave 7.
Yeah, so the 7th release wave since we launched over a year ago. And I think this is our strongest release yet. I'm super excited for the Fantastic Beasts content. We've got, of course, timed with the release of the film that's coming out in a couple weeks. And what everybody's been asking for, Sonic the Hedgehog level pack. which is really cool. You know, something we talked about back in E3 was just the scope and size of the levels that we're doing this year compared to what we did last year in the level packs. These levels are easily double the size as what we did before. So a lot of love has been put, and I think the Sonic level pack is sort of the crown jewel.
So there's a Sonic. Where's the Tails? Where's the Knuckles?
So
where's the Shadow?
The pack comes with Sonic minifigure plus his 2 vehicles, the tornado plane and the blue car. So he gets.
Wait, the Sonic blue car is what it's called? I've never used the Sonic blue car.
The blue
before.
tornado? No, that's the blue. That's the plane.
Why does Sonic need a car? He's already so fast.
Well, you know, he kind of makes a reference to that in the game. He actually does comment on it and say, why do I need this? But there are puzzles built around the different vehicles, of course, because it's a Lego.
I think we need a Knuckles or a Shadow or something like that.
Yeah, I think we've got
Wave
a
8,
lot
Wave 9,
of characters
Sonic
in
still
the
to come?
game. Well, no, you know, you're going to unlock a lot of characters through the game and you get to meet all the cast.
Tails might be in there somewhere?
Tails, Knuckles, Big.
Oh,
we've
good.
got everybody.
Shadow?
Shadow? Yeah, we got them.
They're all in the game.
They're all in the game.
Oh my God! All right, well
yeah.
we have to get to some gameplay then of all things Sonic. So Brandon Jones is going to join us here, I think, to jump into LEGO Dimensions here with this is a pre-release version. It's not out yet, but we so kind of bring it by so we could kind of check it out here. And we're going to see a little bit of this is a Sonic. So I know there's story packs and level packs. What are we going to check out here?
Well, if we can get it
We
going
can get
here.
it going. Of course, we're going to get it going. Lots happening. Upgrading your character. So we have. I know it's, you know, there's story missions, things like that. How deep is the sort of Sonic integration into this world?
Well, it's super deep. So what we did in the Sonic level pack is we kind of took best of moments from across the entire history of Sonic.
Right.
So it's one level, but it's split up into all these different sections, and each section is kind of based on a different inspiration source. So when you pop into the initial game, we put you right into Green Hill Zone, one of the very first sections from the classic original Sonic game. And and hopefully we'll get it pulled up here and jump in here real quickly.
That's really cool. So you got, put Sonic on the portal there and the blue plane, and we can jump in and sort of see what seems like a really, it's fun, all the IPs that you guys get to smash together. And of course, you know, the fact that you've got Gremlins and Sonic, and he can be playable throughout all the content, right? It's not just the Sonic stuff.
Absolutely, and just like, you can bring any of the characters from any of the packs into any of the levels or worlds at any time.
Yes. Okay, so now we're in Sonic Land. Here we go.
Yeah.
We're in the vortex. You have all those different moves.
So I may have to do a little bit of dev magic here because it looks like we pulled up a different save game. So that's
different
all right.
Sonic, but there he is. Lovely old Sonic.
So all right, this is a little behind the scenes magic. So you know, maybe you know we kind of blur this part out, right?
Okay. Nice.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Like I said, behind the scenes magic.
Behind
here.
the scenes as we jump around. Go to another area here.
So we're gonna go.
Oh my
here.
God,
Yeah,
we're going through the whole game here. Top secret.
Look at that. We just completed the whole game.
Congratulations.
Oh my God. Yeah, congratulations. Achievement unlocked. Trophy achieved. Here we
We're
go.
almost done.
All right. So we got obviously Sonic, Gremlin, and then what about characters that we saw from year one? Are they also? I mean, there are, I guess, first waves. They'll all be available as well, right? So you can put them in
So
there, too?
anything that we sold last year still on store shelves. You can get those, pick up any of those packs, and there are new puzzles based around a lot of those characters that you're going to find in these new worlds and new level packs. So your toys from last year still have relevance and still have value in the packs that you're purchasing now, and that's something really cool because we can just keep adding more and more as we go along.
Yeah, they look absolutely amazing to see all these different toys. We got a little ET here, which is pretty cool that we can check out. You see this right here. You got ET.
You got some Adventure Time love on here too, right?
Yeah, Adventure Time, all this great stuff.
Yeah,
right?
so actually this is, we released first couple waves of Adventure Time in September, but now we've got this third character coming out, Marceline the Vampire, who we're really excited about to add to the Adventure Time collection. If you don't have one of the Adventure Time packs yet, you'll immediately get access to the Adventure Time world.
All right, cool.
All right, so I think we are good to go now.
Good to go. All right, here we go. So tell us what are we seeing here? We're jumping in.
Yeah, we're gonna jump in and immediately go right into this is the Sonic level pack. So this is where it all begins, and you know, I'll just let the game speak for itself here at the opening. If you're a fan of Sonic, you might recognize our opening bit here.
Okay. Here we go. Long awaited.
So you're seeing a faithful recreation of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, and we just drop you right in. No preamble, no story set up here.
Oh, wow.
Gonna let you just get right into the action. Sonic's got all of his moves, of course, his dash attack.
Oh, wow, so that's cool. So you even camera angle and everything.
Yeah. So we've got the fixed camera. This is in the level. Now that's going to change up because, of course, Sonic evolved over the years.
Yeah.
He goes into some 3D platforming exploration, so we explore that a little bit, and some third-person, over-the-shoulder perspectives.
Wow. This is really, really cool.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, I love what you guys did with Portal and some other franchises, but this is cool. It's really dramatic change of the gameplay. So if I put another character in right now, will they pop in here yet or no?
They absolutely will pop in. Now, of course, they don't have the same skills as Sonic, so you might have a little harder time getting around some of the level here, but...
Pop E.T. in? Oh, yeah. I think I hear him.
Yeah, he's there, but Sonic left him in the dust.
Yeah, Sonic bailed on him, so there's no time for E.T.
All right.
E.T.'s way too slow.
Put E.T. Let's put a little gremlin in here.
Well, don't put the gremlin in the water. But there he is. There's Gizmo and E.T. together.
Yeah. Cute. Oh my God.
E.T. might have a tough time.
So Ueda's a big fan of E.T.
So you can switch to any of those characters, of course, with the touch of a button. Yep, there's E.T. And you can just back out of there. Yep.
All right. So then the gameplay changes. He obviously doesn't have the same abilities, right?
Right, but E.T.'s got his own special abilities. You know, he's a magic-based character. Remember from the movies, he could levitate objects, heal broken objects, or fix broken objects. So yeah, he doesn't have the spin.
I love him trying to, though.
Oh, that's so cute on little E.T. and Sonic.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Batman.
Collect the gold coins.
You're only human.
You do it also now.
That's the thing that's so great is the relationship. You know, Batman seeing Bart Simpson being like, is this the infamous Bartman? Like, I love those interactions.
Yeah. And then we keep sprinkling more of that in here. And of course, you know, characters from last year will interact with the new characters this year. And you know, again, just try to keep those lines blurred between all these different brands as best as we can. And you know, Sonic, like, again, for us, this goes all the way back to you know, work that TT Games did years ago for the Dreamcast. They worked on a Sonic game, and they've got roots in this IP, and they just were itching to get back into this world and this space.
It's absolutely incredible what you guys have been able to do with all these IPs and played with all of them. So it's very fun to see all things Sonic. Now this will come out when?
So this comes out November 18th.
Okay.
Yep. So we're just over a week away.
Awesome.
Yeah. Next
all right.
Friday.
Well, thank you so much, Doug, for bringing it by. Thanks, Brandon, for taking the controls of Sonic. And we got much more still to come on the show. Dear Bossman, your unlicensed games therapist will be back. Greg Miller and I will discuss the PS4 Pro, which is out today. Plus, we'll introduce a brand new segment we called Ranked. Wait until you see this. People will be talking about their favorite first-person shooters of all time. And I'll break down all the week's news. All right, well, Tuesday I had the privilege of sitting down with a gaming icon to discuss the work he's been doing over the last decade to complete The Last Guardian. Here is my chat, and it's a long one, but an awesome one, with a guy who rarely does interviews, Fumito Ueda. Right now, it is such an honor to be joined by a legend in the video game industry. His long-awaited game, The Last Guardian, is coming out in just about a month's time in early December. Ueda-san, welcome to YouTube. It's great to have you with us, and congratulations on finishing the game. We've missed playing games by you for many years. I know you've been working on The Last Guardian for a long time. Now that you've completed development, what is the meaning of the game to you? What do you think it represents in your legacy of all the games you've created?
I'm going to go back in time a little bit. With Shadow of the Colossus, there's a character, Agro. We thought that the character was really just going to play more of a player support role, but the overwhelming response that we got from the fans and the audience who played the game was that they had a very deep emotional connection with the character. And so we felt like, oh, you know what, we should really look in deeper and see how we can reflect and maybe carry over this idea of having a partner in the next game that we work on.
Do you have a pet of your own?
I actually have a cat, not where I live, but where I grew up. And so there are lots of childhood memories that really helped me to come up with the idea for Toriko.
Do you see a lot of yourself in the game and the player character? Do you imagine that being you interacting?
The boy is not, necessarily based on myself or my character or anything like that. But what I can say is that because we worked on it for such a long amount of time, it does feel like I was the owner of Trico.
This game, obviously, as you said, took you a very long time to create, and as a creator, you always have a vision that you want to share with your fans that have been waiting for it. Was there ever a day that you thought maybe this game would never come out and people would never get to have this experience?
So certainly there were at times when I felt that could happen. However, we were very fortunate to be seen as a title that was desired by fans and the audience. And so obviously with that comes an enormous amount of pressure. But in the end, it became a very healthy cycle for us to take that pressure and to put it into the game itself.
When you look back over all the years of development, is there one day that was particularly hard for you, or one decision you had to make which was the toughest personal decision?
Clearly, I remember the day that I had to make the decision and accept the fact that we were going to move to a new system, so going from the PlayStation 3 onto the PlayStation 4. What that meant was, which was an answer that we didn't have, was, wow, how much longer is it going to really take for us to realize and have a game ready for the fans to play? So it wasn't just me that had to make that tough decision. It was everyone on the team.
Now, I know, a lot of the folks at Sony, like Shu Yoshida, Mark Cerny, everyone's been very supportive of this game. Can you tell me how important it has been to kind of partner with Sony and people like that to help you realize this vision?
They lend the entire team and myself a tremendous amount of support, and because of that, we're here today.
When you are struggling developing a game, where do you look for inspiration? Is there a book that you read or music you listen to? How do you keep yourself inspired when you feel almost depressed about the progress on the game?
When it's tough, when it's rough, and I need to keep myself motivated. It's not maybe necessarily just games. It's all kinds of art, entertainment, or film, that things that I really like and are great pieces of work. They keep me motivated and they inspire me in turn to keep on going. So that's where I look for inspiration. Films like E.T. or Japanese anime Totoro, or even Iron Giant. Those are some work that I really drew inspiration from.
Are there other games that have inspired you? A lot of games have sometimes tried to build these relationships between two characters. Some do them better than others. But are there other games that inspire you as well?
If I were to think of one, there is a game in Japan called Ganbare Morikawa-kun Nigo. And I don't think it was released outside of Japan, but it was basically, there was an AI robot character, but you would control the character by clicking on the mouse. And while that, the idea was great, I just felt like there was too many steps involved in trying to control that AI characters.
What type of games do you play? Do we see you at home at night, sitting there playing Doom online, or what types of games do you play?
So I think I play plenty of games. What I do is I go through a selection of titles that are very popular and that people follow. I want to know why these games are doing so well or have a big community or a big fan base. So I definitely check out sort of the top-ranking, high-ranking titles, such as, obviously, Uncharted series, Last of Us. I've played through those games. But I also like to look into some more kind of smaller indie titles. For example, Inside. Yeah, those are really the games that are really, very small and compact, but very beautifully done. Yes. And so those are titles that I've been playing.
Moving back to Last Guardian, I think a lot of players have been wondering about, what the adventure will be. You've put out some footage recently that suggests there may be another Trico in the world or another character. Can you tell us a bit about that and what other maybe mysteries await us as we play the game?
今ちょうどそのこれから発表するための
You're right. We sort of teased maybe another Trico. We're actually just wrapping up another set of assets. In particular, trying to really convey the story, the world of the game, as well as a launch trailer. So I'm going to refrain from giving away too much here because that will be coming very soon. But one thing I can say for sure is that when anyone plays this game, and at the end of it, what I'm hoping for is that every single person feels like they know Trico and feels the existence of Trico, that you feel like it is actually really there with you or in front of you. And that's going to vary by person how you feel it. But that's one very important thing that I would like for everyone to feel.
Now, I think a lot of players have been wondering this game, does it live in the same universe as some of your other titles? Is there a link to, other games? Is Last Guardian, is it in its own universe or does it have a relationship to your other games?
ですね、
I have an answer as to whether it lives in the same universe or whether it doesn't, or are they linked? How are they linked if they are? I have my own answer. But I do feel like if I say, one way or another, then that kind of gives it away or it spoils it or ruins it. And so I would want to not do that for the players who are looking forward to playing the game.
You've been through this journey of building this game for many, many years. As you walk away from it now, how do you feel? Do you feel inspired, like I want to go and build my next game and spend 10 years on the next one, or do you want to take a vacation? What is your mind like right now?
残り半分はやっぱり長くこう。
There's a huge relief sort of feeling in me, but that's only half. The other half is, I feel like because of the time spent being with Trico, that I am now having to let go of Trico, and it's a bittersweet moment for me. So that's the other half, and that's how I feel right now. Having said that, the sort of realization that everything has wrapped up hasn't really sunk in with me yet. And it's not just with The Last Guardian, just because it took the extra amount of time, but this was the same when we wrapped up Eco, Shadow of the Colossus. I think there's a moment where, after the game ships and people start playing, maybe a few months, that's when I feel like, everything has sort of come to an end. So I'm still in that phase where, the game's done, but it hasn't really hit me in that way.
Congratulations on finishing the game, and I hope you and your family get time to relax now and recharge your batteries. I know everyone can't wait to play the game when it comes out in December. Today, the PS4 Pro came out. It's got 4K visuals and complete PS4 compatibility, and it is billed as the world's most powerful console, as you heard from Sean Layden at PlayStation last week. But does it live up to the hype? Well, here to help us figure it out is the winner of the Trending Gamer Award from the Game Awards 2015, all the way up in San Francisco. It is Kinda Funny's Greg Miller. Greggy, you there?
I'm here, Geoff. How are you?
I am doing well. It's a big day in the gaming world with PS4
Oh, huge. It doesn't
Pro.
get any bigger than the PlayStation 4 Pro.
What? Hold on here. We're here to interview about it. We want to hear what you think of it. How long have you been playing with your PS4 Pro?
Oh, I don't have a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Okay.
When they announced it, we did a podcast about it where we weren't very positive. So they didn't send us one, and we have no real motivation to go out and buy one.
Okay. So let's break this down a little bit.
Sure.
PS4 Pro out today. Improved visuals. I was playing like Titanfall 2 on it. Even on a 1080p TV, there's improvements, but it's market improvements. It's not a whole new generation. Why are you guys down on it?
We're not down on it. I think that's the thing that's getting lost in the messaging, right? For us, what it is it's just not for us yet.
Right.
I feel like we're in this part where Sony comes out and talks about it and says it's better graphics, 4K, all these different things, and they're really positioning in a way that if I cared about that as a console gamer, I'd go be a PC gamer.
Right.
Like, I love my PlayStation 4. It makes the games run. They look great. And when my PlayStation 4 dies, I'm going to buy a PlayStation 4 Pro. But right now, there's no reason for me to run out and buy it as somebody who doesn't have a 4K TV.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you about that. If, you know, a lot of people say, hey, you may want to wait until you get a 4K TV to play with this. But I mean, Sony's not, you know, they're not breaking any of your current games. You can be very happy PS4 gamer. So you're down on it just because it's not for you? Is that what you're saying?
Stop saying I'm down on it. I'm not down on it in general. I'm just saying.
You said you guys did a podcast where you were down on it and they didn't send you one.
And because of what, for me, the whole problem with the PlayStation 4 Pro is the messaging.
Okay.
You figured when you look at what Xbox has done with the Scorpio, right? They comes out of nowhere at E3, bam, there's this trailer, teraflops, Todd Howard, it's coming next year, it's going to be awesome. It's excitement about it. Yeah. And for PlayStation 4 Pro, when it was PlayStation 4 Neo, right, it was this developer went and talked to one of the sites and was talking about how they didn't know what it was, but they were being forced to put patches in their games and they weren't excited about it, and blah, blah, blah. And then Andrew House came to like the businessinsider.com or whatever and was like, hey, we're not going to talk about this at E3. It's something totally different. And it was, okay, so it's not a big deal. And then they're like, no, it's a big deal. Let's throw a giant event for it. Let's throw a PlayStation 4 Pro press conference, make it try to look like the PlayStation 4 original announcement where Cerny came out and talked about how everything was going to be great. And they tried to do that again, and it was nothing. There was no punch to it, right? It was like, hey, here's this system that's going to be better than the system you have, but it's not PlayStation 5. It's not groundbreaking. It's not going to change the way you play games. I feel like if they would have put out a press release about this, put up a blog post about it, they would have had more goodwill than they do right now with it.
Well, one thing that, you know, is interesting about this system and the Scorpio is that they have to be compatible. You know, games have to play sort of on PS4, PS4 Pro, Scorpio, Xbox One. So even though Microsoft has gone out, you said, with this messaging of how, you know, this is going to be the future of gaming, in some ways that system will also be sort of handicapped a little bit by the fact that it's got, you know, these games have to work on Xbox One. So do you think generally we're just going to see, you know, kind of more marginal improvements in games and technology over the next year or two because these publishers don't want to kind of break with the past?
I think what it'll be is you'll have to really see how the PlayStation 4 Pro performs, then how the Scorpio performs, because that's going to inform the decision. I think right now you are seeing PlayStation and Xbox say, well, this kind of works for smartphones. Could it work for consoles? This, you know, not a full number. It's an iteration. It's a little bit different. You get all your games, but you can get a little bit more out of them. If people are fine with that, then yeah, it is going to be, okay, let's keep putting out these consoles every few years that do a little bit more and do away with PlayStation 5, Xbox 2, whatever you want to call it.
Do you think Sony might do an even beefier console next year to go up against Scorpio?
No way. I think that they were working on this one, PlayStation 4 Pro, and I think that probably Scorpio caught them off guard. I think they knew Microsoft was working on something similar, but when Microsoft specs went up, I think that's one of the reasons they went radio silent about what was happening with PlayStation 4 Pro.
All right, well, let's talk about the games. It comes down to that. You know, one thing I think is a little odd is that there's not that sort of flagship PS4 Pro game right now. There are some games that are, you know, better with it, and you can go back and, you know, Uncharted looks better, HDR, 4K. You've obviously got, you know, games like Titanfall that are compatible with it and many others. Is there a game that you think is, you know, going to be that title that will cause you to get a PS4 Pro, something like Horizon Zero Dawn?
You like to think so, right? I don't know how much better that game could look, though. You know what I mean? I don't think we're going to be, it's not going to be like the old days where we were seeing something run on PlayStation 4 and then there was a PS3 version or a PS3 version and a PS2 version. It'll look better, but I think really for me what it'll come down to is the death of my PlayStation 4. When my PlayStation 4 at home no longer runs, then I'm of course going to buy a Pro because I want to be future-proof.
Are you anticipating that day?
Oh, I mean, come on, Jeff. You know how these technologies goes. And you know, I'm running this PlayStation 4 hard, getting trophies, playing that Mayo game. I'm all over it. My PlayStation 4 will only hang in for so long before I need that Pro.
All right, well, that may happen in 2017. Lots of interesting games. And we haven't, one thing we should talk about is VR. You know, PS4 Pro supports VR. I know you like PSVR. Is that something that you think is going to, you know, cause you to get a Pro if the VR games are going to look better? I
mean, that was what I was hoping the PlayStation 4 Pro event would say and convince me of. Yeah. I was expecting them to come out and be like, it does 4K, it does this HDR stuff, and it's going to load your games faster, every game. And PlayStation VR is going to look so much better on it. And from what I hear when I read like Ben's article on Polygon, who's one of the biggest VR guys I know, he's saying It might do more. Like it looks a little bit better right now with VR, but it's really all this comes down to what are developers going to put into it. If developers really want to get the most out of this machine, they can, but they're not going to be motivated unless the audience is motivated. And I don't think the audience has been motivated by PlayStation.
Awesome. All right. Well, there's lots of food for thought, lots of games to play, and we hope to see you at the Game Awards 2016. Trending Gamer nominees are coming next week, Greg.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll start working on my speech.
Well, you got to get nominated first.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. I think
we'll find out next week. Thanks, Greg.
Bye, Geoff. Thank you for having me.
All right, game over, Greggy. Hopefully he'll get a PS4 Pro soon. All right, still on the way. Maddox, Brandon, and Emily are going to do something brand new on this show. It's called Ranked, and they're going to rank their favorite FPS games of all time. Dear Bossman is back to answer letters from depressed games, and I will give you my take on this week's events. All right, be sure to open up a tab and go to primetimevoting.com. We've got polls and trivia for you guys there, a fully interactive experience alongside this show. Now, coming up in just 3 weeks on December 1st is a little project of mine called the Game Awards. We'll be live here in Los Angeles at the Microsoft Theater. If you're in LA or can get to LA, tickets are now on sale at the Microsoft Theater box office, and we'll be announcing the nominees next week in all the categories. Lots more about some of the big world premieres and the new game announcements that will be coming to the show. It's going to be an amazing awards show. We're working so hard on it. We can't wait to bring it to you guys live Thursday, December 1st. And the best news of all, of course, is that you can watch it right here live on YouTube. And that's where you'll get to see the first gameplay of the next Mass Effect and tons of other games. I am really, really excited about what's about to unravel over the next few weeks. All our hopes and dreams are coming true this year in terms of some amazing games and announcements and creators on stage. So I can't wait. 3 weeks from right now, actually, you'll be able to watch it. We'll actually be in the pre-show 3 weeks from now, about 15 minutes until the show starts. So anyways, the Game Awards 2016, look for the nominees next week and much more news. All right, video games are just like people. They want everyone to like them, and too often they go unloved. But our resident expert, Kyle Bossman, an unlicensed games therapist. We're hoping he gets his license by season 2, but right now he is unlicensed, and he is here to help. This is Dear Bossman.
Here at Live with YouTube Gaming, receive hundreds of letters from video games all over the world who want our advice. I'm Kyle Bossman. This is Dear Bossman. Let's see whom we can help tonight. Dear Bossman, I guess you could say I'm a game with a lot of baggage. Despite the fact that I come from one of the most highly regarded franchises in gaming history, people aren't too thrilled about me. Reach me via codec at 141.55. Can I make that joke? Metal Gear Survive. No, you can't make that joke, and we don't want you to. Metal Gear Survive, the easiest analogy to make here is that you were in a relationship with one of our best friends, and you broke up. You had a nasty breakup, and because that breakup was so brutal, we have no choice but to be loyal to our oldest friend, the one we like the most, who is, of course, Hideo Kojima. Don't take that personally. Obviously, we're in the same circles. We're gonna bump into each other sometimes. I think you can tell where this analogy goes. If you take the letters from Rat Patrol 01, abbreviate that word for no reason, then rearrange them all around, it spells patriot, kind of. And I think that's the fact that you're a $30 game, which is pretty cool in my book. Someday you're gonna get a text from us. It's gonna be some stupid thing from Reddit that reminded us of you. You're gonna text back, wanna hang out. We're gonna see a movie. We're gonna get licked by a vampire guy. We're gonna torture Huey for like 10 minutes. And then things are gonna be pretty okay. So don't worry about it. Dear Bossman, this will be the final letter you ever receive from me. It's me, Battleborn. I'm not a dead horse for everyone to come and take their shots on whenever they want. I'm a video game designed and created so that people could have fun. If you ever want to apologize, you know where to find me. Sincerely, Battleborn. Wow. I don't know, I kind of feel bad now. No more Battleborn. Dear Bossman, I'm the next Mario game, gonna sell millions, save Nintendo. Where's the love, baby? Wahoo, Super Mario Run. Super Mario Run, you're going to sell millions and you're going to make millions. And this is something I learned recently. Yeah, money is not as great as love, sure, but it is very close and it is much, much easier to get. Because I'm right now rolling in dough because of all this milkshake market stuff. Let me give you a few tips. This week I'm buying chocolate and I'm buying strawberry, strong milkshakes. And because banana is so weak right now, I am selling all my peanut butter. Too risky. I gotta get out. Sorry about that. I realized that this is a show about video games, not milkshakes. Look into it. Super Mario Run. Listen, no one's ever gonna love you. Sorry, bud, but you will make stacks and stacks of dollars, and that is all that matters. That's all the time we have for this week. I'm Kyle Bossman. This has been Dear Bossman. Hope to see you next time.
What a great games therapist. Get that guy licensed, Kyle Bossman. Alrighty, recently some huge FPS titles have been released, and as we mentioned in Let's News, some of those games may not be moving the needle as they once did, and that got us thinking about our all-time favorite first-person shooter games, which sparked a lot of debate. I remember being back in the late 90s going to Valve when they first did Half-Life, or down at id Software. One of my first trips as a journalist was in 1994 to visit id right after they had launched Doom, which I still remember the day, December 10th, 1993, when I first played Doom. It was such an incredible experience. But anyways, those are some of my favorites. Tonight, we're going to settle it and name our top 3 first-person shooter games of all time. This is ranked, and Kyle is over there at our ranked board. Look at this. It's like Kyle's about to school us with Emily, Maddox, and Brandon. Kyle, introduce us to our incredible new segment that's going to be all the rage of the internet's Ranked.
Absolutely. This is Ranked. This is our ranked board, no E. How this works is each of our panelists have created a list of their top 3 first-person shooter games of all time. You all prepared. They prepared ahead of time. They have them figured out. Now, we're going to go one by one. We're going to go Brandon's top 3, Maddox's top 3, Emily's top 3. Once that's been settled, we're going to get the master list, the ultimate top 3, the best 3 first-person shooter games of all time. Indisputable. Are we prepared?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, I have to let everyone at home know that you can vote on this. We're going to primetimevoting.com, and you can vote on who you think has the best list amongst our panel. Yeah, you could choose Emily, you could choose Maddox, you could pick Brandon, I guess. Brandon, we're going to start with you. We're going to start with your top 3.
Excellent.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Brandon's number 3, best first-person shooter game of all time is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Mildly popular.
Mildly popular.
Yeah, a deep cut.
Number 2, GoldenEye 007. And number 1 is Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Jones, you know what I see here?
Yeah.
White bread.
Okay.
That's a boring list.
You're not feeling, well, it's a very popular genre, so there's very predictable picks, but those are some excellent video games.
Do you honestly think GoldenEye holds up?
I do think GoldenEye holds up. I've played GoldenEye recently.
Maddox is rolling his eyes right now.
Oof.
Always hated GoldenEye. Always.
Even way
hated
back
it.
when?
Even way back when. All my friends I thought were stupid for playing it. It would make me angry. The controls were so slow. It was sluggish. The graphics were stupid. The weapons were stupid. The levels were stupid. Everything about the game was stupid.
Obviously not everything, Maddox. There's obviously some good to
Not
it.
a single good thing. Not even the colors.
Emily, is this list okay?
It's all right. I like Half-Life 2. It's a good, solid pick.
Okay.
Solid pick.
If you at home like that list, go ahead, vote for Jones. But now we're going to look at Maddox's list. Here we go, Maddox. Your number 3 best first-person shooter of all time is Doom from 2016.
Wow, the new one.
All time.
Of all time.
Yep. Just happened.
Look at his grin. Look at his. You're planning something. Jumping Flash 2?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
All right.
We'll talk about this, but I'm pumped on that.
Right?
And Half-Life 2.
And you're good at the exclamation point. I really appreciate that.
Yes! Maddox, what a pick!
Jumping Flash 2.
So,
You
I guess
shoot?
you kind of shoot, right? Because you shoot like the
definitely
little
shoot. Oh,
diamonds.
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely.
You shoot or you
Wow.
die in that game.
And it's a platformer,
It's
small
a
stage.
yeah.
This, I see some recency bias on this. Is this honestly one of the best first-person shooter games of all time?
Oh, easily. It's way better than any of the other Dooms. And I know that's sacrilege for people who love Doom and Doom 2, and they're great games. But Doom 2016 does everything right about that series that you love about that series, and it changes the boringness of all these other shooters, except for Half-Life 2. I'm
Right.
going to agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Emily, do you think this is boring right here? A little boring?
Jumping Flash is definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
2.
look at.
For 2. I want to let everyone know. I want everybody at home to know that you can switch your votes. If you liked Jones before and like, no, Maddox is right. I'm switching to Maddox. You can
I
absolutely
saw
do
the
that.
person finishing Doom and like,
Yeah.
wow, they put it down. That was a great game. Yeah. Wait till you try Jumping Flash 2, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, try Jumping
Take your
Flash 2.
expectations and
Everyone at
throw
home,
them right
go
out the
download
window.
it. It's on the
'Cause if I got
PSN
a
store.
PS1 game for you.
We got to move on to Emily's list. Emily, what did you call yourself? BioWare trash earlier? And you said you hate first-person shooters.
I don't hate them. I just don't play them very often.
So this is going to be an interesting top 3.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is Emily's number 3rd. Her 3rd pick right
Number
here.
3rd.
Number 3rd. Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. That's a really good pick.
Thank you.
The Jedi Knight series, yeah. It was a shooter starting out.
Yeah.
Number 2, Borderlands 2. And number 1, BioShock Infinite.
I got to know why over the original BioShock, just out of curiosity.
I mean, just for me, when I played the original BioShock, it was way more claustrophobic and scary for me.
Yes.
Of the just immense beauty of BioShock Infinite, of being in the clouds, and the story was like way trippier. And like at the end, you're like, oh my god! Like you get to the end of BioShock 1, you're like, oh, I should have known.
Tell us
Obviously.
about Borderlands 2, though. Why?
It was just so fun.
It is fun. Borderlands 2 is fun, but it's so memey. It's so jokey.
I know, but I love that. Not all FPSs have to be so serious.
Like this one right here?
Like this one.
Yeah. I
Like
get that.
this one.
It is fun in Borderlands 2 to find a slot machine and then get that one magic weapon that's like so stupid. It's like it's a gun that shoots guns.
Yes,
Like
love it. Love
I'm
that.
on board. Yeah.
There is only the one slot machine, though, isn't it? You like go home and you go up into the slot machine and you dump all your money into it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a first-person shooter. That's one of the best of all time, Emily. Okay, let's see who the audience picked. Of course, they like Jones's bland list right here.
That's right.
It's so bland. They're like, oh yeah.
Excellence is boring, Kyle. I don't
Excellence
know what to
is
tell
boring.
you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Jones, we're gonna start with you.
Yes.
Which one do you want up in that master list?
Half-Life 2, of course. I mean, it's on there
Yeah,
twice.
it's shared. I guess we
if
have
you want
to bring
take
it up.
Maddox's I don't mean to,
No,
No,
take it.
all right, no, we're
Take it.
taking
my-
Maddox's.
yeah, let's take it.
You
That's
know,
I
I
think
feel
that's
confident
teamwork.
about. Okay, fine.
Are we putting it at number 1 already? Or should we put it at number 2 and maybe we can argue something else up to number 1?
I guess number 2 is
Number 2.
diplomatic.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's
all right,
do
we'll put it
that.
at number 2. Emily, what do you want? What do you want up on the master list? Doesn't even have to be from your own list.
I have to go with Jedi Knight 2.
Jedi Knight 2, we didn't even talk about this. Maddox, you're shaking your head.
I don't know.
Arguably the best Star Wars game ever made.
Arguably the best Star Wars game ever made right here.
I like the Super NES side-scrolling Star Wars game. That was pretty cool.
That's crazy because they're hard and super bad.
That's what
Terrible.
That's what I like. I like how hard it is.
But what about a game where you can shoot guns and also use a lightsaber?
Yeah, I'm gonna not.
It's going to number 3. Unless you
Okay,
can
number
stop
3.
it.
I'm
Can
fine
you
with
stop
number 3. Yeah, let's do it. Number 3 is fine.
Jones, we got any?
that down.
Oh, Jones already went. Maddox.
Yeah.
What's number 1? What's in contention here?
Well, I think for the number 1,
Yeah.
we have to go with the best shooter on this board and the most innovative one, which is Jumping Flash 2. Number 1, baby.
I hear you.
Yes.
I hear you. Let's talk about it. Let's
Boy, that
actually
was
talk
easy.
about
You
this.
just walked
Alright.
over and you just
Jumping
grabbed
Flash.
it.
Because
didn't
it's
you?
my favorite pick. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Jumping Flash 2. Emily, do you like this game?
Yeah. I mean, it really was innovative.
Fantastic game.
It should be number 1
No,
for sure.
A lot of people don't know about this game. You play as Robert, the robot,
Right.
Rabbit,
Yes.
and you're supposed to capture moo-moos, which are scattered across the universe.
Which
and
are
you're-
like squid-like creatures, yes?
yeah, they're like
Octopi?
little one. Yeah, and when you get close to them, they go moo moo.
Yep.
And then, yeah, true. These are all facts.
Well, I mean, he's saying GoldenEye lacked colors, and there are a lot of colors.
Yeah.
all the colors.
Lots of
in Jumping
colors.
Flash.
Half-Life 2 doesn't have a lot of colors, does it?
It doesn't. It's like, what's the word? Realistic, I think? It was, they were kind of going for that. Don't you
Uh-oh.
dare.
Or
Don't you
drag.
dare.
Uh-oh. Stop me,
1.
Jones.
I will
one.
stop.
Should we make it number 2?
What, physically? I don't have anything to throw at you, Kyle.
It has a 2
Should we
in
do
it.
Half-Life 2
Okay.
right there?
It has a 2 in it.
Is that good?
All sequels, I just
2, 2,
noticed.
2. Yeah.
Yeah,
2, 2,
they're all
2.
twos.
Sequels are good. All the twos!
This is too good.
There you have it, everyone. That is our list. These are the best 3 first-person shooters of all time. You cannot debate it. That's it. Don't even make a comment in the comments. Don't even bother. That's it. Go home, get a tattoo. These are the best 3. Jeff Keighley, we want to know your top 3, by the way. Go ahead and tell us.
That's a great question, Kyle. I would say, I say Half-Life 2's right up there. I would say the original Doom still, just because what it did to bring 3D shooters to life. So for its time, I thought that was a big one. And then I'm trying to think what else I would put as my third. I'd say Half-Life at that. I would even say Portal I thought was really innovative for what it did. Sort of it was a different type of shooter. So I'm thinking more of innovation.
Like Jumping Flash.
jumping Flash's alley. For its time was really cool, and even Half-Life had some of those, original Zen, like some of that cool jumping stuff that I thought was cool. And yeah, I mean, and some of the Call of Duties have been good. It's tough. I mean, the shooters are like some of the best games, I feel like, come up in the shooting genre, and it has continued to improve. But for its time, even like Dark Forces, you think of Star Wars games, like for its time, Dark Forces came out after Doom, an incredible Star Wars shooter, and then Jedi Knight and Jedi Knight 2 that Justin designed. They were incredible games, but I thought Dark Forces, for its time, I was blown away because that was like a 3D Star Wars world for the first time, and it was literally just a reskin of Doom. So anyways, a great discussion, but I'd probably put Half-Life 2 at the top of the list. Thank you, Kyle Bossman, unlicensed games therapist. Yeah. All right, we are moving on now. In 2014, Ubisoft launched a popular new franchise called Watch Dogs that reflected our digital times and starred in Anti-Hero Hacker. The sequel is coming out next week on November 15th with a new character and a brand new open world up in the Bay Area. Jonathan Pierre were here a few weeks ago to give us an exclusive look at the game. And now we're going to take a look at a little more of Watch Dogs 2.
Drop zone to the block's gone. Can't you tell we read about our options? This ain't a choir group. Tell the entire truth and let us set you free. We undeniable. We undeniable. We undeniable.
Available November 15th, 2016. Pre-order and get the bonus Zodiac Killer mission and outfit.
All right, Lewis, my fellow Canuck and master unwrapper, is back. We sent him a surprise FPS accessory to have him debox and test out for us. You've waited for his return, and here he is, the unbox therapy man, Lou. Take it away.
So I think I might have a fun one today. This showed up. It's called the Hip Shot Dot, and it was sent to me from the folks over at Live with YouTube Gaming. They wanted to start sending me a couple of cool gaming-related peripherals, accessories. I have no idea what to expect. It's called the Hip Shot Dot, a red dot sight attachment for first-person shooter games. Compatible with Xbox One, PS4, Xbox 360, PS3, PC, Wii U, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Titanfall, and more. It's got a USB-powered LED, which sits on your display over top of your normal sights. Easily attach and detach from your television, 72-inch USB power cord. All right. You actually stick that little suction cup right to the TV, and they claim you can aim more quickly, improve your accuracy, enhance reaction time, to feel like the real deal. With the red dot. Let's crack this open. I'm a little skeptical. Who knows? Let's find out. So this is the device. It kind of looks like a piece of medical equipment. You're like, beep, beep. Anyway, you can power this thing off any USB power. It doesn't have to be directly from your console. And then this little thing, here, I'm going to show you. This just suctions right on, right like this, right to your eyeball. No, okay, cool. Wow, that's actually on there right now. But the majority of the suction cup is see-through, and then the center portion, that's what is going to illuminate, supposedly increase my accuracy, which that's going to be quite the feat. I mean, I need all the help I can get. I just picked up Battlefield 1. We're going to try it out together. Let's do it right now. Let's see if I'm any better. Okay, got myself a monitor, got the PS4, and I've got Battlefield 1 booted up. I'm at the very beginning of the game right now. I haven't played it yet. Looks pretty intense so far. I'm gonna take this little device and plug it into the PS4 for power. You can see this lights up too. We'll see if Jack can pick that up. Can you pick that up? So what you're supposed to do to set this up, go in game. They're firing at me right now. Zoom in, and you want this little dot to be right at your crosshairs. The second one just exists for tension. Have that out of the way down here. Now watch what I'm talking about. When I zoom in, see that? How the dot becomes the aim. Even though I'm only in World War I, I got the red dot sight. Oh, that is a flamethrower. Holy. Oh, I'm on fire. I'm on fire right now. Oh. Well, that didn't last long. Now the cool thing is, I mean, it lines up with or without L2. Oh no, not again with the flamethrower this guy. I'm going right at him. Oh, you gotta shoot his backpack. He blows up. I can sense a lot of dying that's gonna happen here. Well, it is World War I. I mean, let's be honest. Use the MG. Bye-bye. Whose tank is that? That's probably... Oh. I get what they're doing here with the thing. You're playing all the different roles of different guys within the military is what's going on. So what can I say? Like, I think it actually kind of does the job. You guys can pick it up there. It is called the hip shot dot. I think the name is fitting because where this really stands to improve your accuracy is when you're firing without zooming in, without having the crosshairs, because then it becomes really obvious to you where they would be, but you can fire from the hip shot dot. I don't know, all right? Listen, you're not sticking this thing on your TV and going straight MLG. It's not happening, all right? There's no easy way. You gotta put in the time, you gotta put in the practice, with or without the hip shot dot. Will you get an extra kill? I don't know, maybe. But if you wanna step your game up to the highest levels, it's time to grab that controller, keyboard, and mouse, and put in those hours with those Cheetos all over your hands. Because you're special like that. And you're going pro. Your parents are going to be proud of you.
All right, well, this has been quite the week, no matter your politics or whether you're a gamer or not. And in a way, it feels somewhat trivial, honestly, to stand up here in front of you guys and talk about DLC or new gaming consoles or trailer reveals when there is so much unease and unrest out there around the United States and the world. All week we've been working late preparing for the Game Awards 2016, and what's kept us going is a belief that games are the escapism we sometimes need. They inspire us. Whether it's virtual reality or just a really great online game with your friends, the power of this medium is to transport us elsewhere. Whether that's a fantasy land, a simulation of the real world, or even back in time, games can put us in the shoes of someone else to help us understand their motivations and perspective on the world. Now, don't get me wrong, we shouldn't just ignore what's going on out there or turn inward to the virtual world because we might not understand the real one. But as we work through understanding different perspectives and viewpoints on the world, and let's face it, there are divided ideas out there, games can help. And I don't mean as a way to turn off and ignore the world, but as actually a way to understand how others might see things. And whether other people share your politics or not, what we all need to do is try and understand why people feel the way that they do. Interactive gaming often lets us go inside a character's head or see something from multiple perspectives. Even think back to GTA 5 with Trevor, Michael, and Franklin and that experience, or even a more experimental game like That Dragon Cancer, which takes you inside a parent's heart-wrenching journey through their son's 4-year battle with terminal cancer. I think people who watch this show know what games are about. They aren't about violence or raunch. At their best, the reason we play games is to take us on adventures and to challenge our reflexes or our dexterity or sometimes our perspective on the world. Because the way we feel isn't the way everyone does. So as you hit start on the next game, let's make sure we always recognize those games that do show us the potential of this medium to bring us together. That's what we'll be celebrating at the Game Awards in 3 weeks. We want to challenge our skills and ideas and perspectives. Games somehow can help us learn more about each other. All right, well, thanks for watching Live with YouTube Gaming this week. We'll be back next week for the last episode of our season as we get ready for the Game Awards, and we'll have an exclusive look at Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and one final Dear Bossman as well before our holiday break. You don't want to miss it. It's next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. West Coast time, right here at youtube.com/primetime. Thanks for watching, guys. Good night. See you next week.